afternoon, folks. Welcome back. It's John Pettipas, 4 minutes past 2 o'clock in the afternoon, on the afternoon of Thursday, the second day of September 2021. I'm doing a double header today. Bear with me. I have a lot of grounds to cover here. I just got my Terry Fox t-shirt and a wonderful little girl in the office, Lacey. And she's what, 23, 24 now? And little note. Hi, John. You often talk about aging and your obsession with living forever. And when I read this article a few days ago, I thought about you, and I'm forwarding it to you if it's interesting to read. All the best. And it's not Lacey, it's Ashley. Lacey's smart little girl, but Ashley's the one, 23, 24. But thank you, Ashley. We appreciate this greatly. Now, how long will we live? And I decided to make a YouTube video on this here one. There's a study that was done in France, and the nation of France. Vive la France! We got the Acadian flag here today. Beautiful. Now, lovely, wonderful. There was a lady that lived to 122, and the lady's name was Janine Calment. Janine Calment. She was born in 1885, and she died in 1875, because the computer rejected the data, said irrelevant data. She was 115 at the time of the study. She died in 1997 at 122 years old. I remember reading that in the paper, in a magazine or item in Halifax Herald. She was 122 years old, and she's a documented birth certificate in France and other stuff. So she definitely was 122 years old, and she lived her entire life in a sunburned clay and cobbled city of Artigues in south of France. She married a second cousin, moved into a spacious apartment above the store he owned. She never needed to work. Instead, she filled her days with leisurely pursuits like bicycling, painting, roller skating, roller derby girl, and hunting. She was a hunter. Pretty damn good. Something like Granny Hillbilly. Enjoyed a glass of port, a cigarette, and some chocolate nearly every day. In town, she was known for optimism, good humor, and wit. A quote was, "I have but one wrinkle," she said, "and I'm sitting on it. I have but one wrinkle and I'm sitting on it." I go, ha ha, pretty damn good. That reminds me, by the way, of Warren Trigano of Halifax Seed, who's still alive and well into towards the mid-90s. Wonderful gentleman, Halifax Seed Company. Oldest seed company in Canada. Older than Canada. It was started in 1866, or a year older than the Confederation. Anyway, I remember sending a card out to him when his mother died, Molly Trigano, and she lived at a ripe old age. She was in her mid-90s. And I sent him, and one day I was phoning an addition and an order in the spring, and I said to him, "I'm sorry about your mother's death. No, thank you for the card, John, and a nice note. I said, "You're most welcome. Least I could do." So anyway, I said, "Imagine living that old. She never drank or smoked." And know what he said back to me? Something I don't approve of, but anyway, such is the case. He said back to me, "Actually, John, she did a little of each. In other words, she drank a bit and she smoked a bit." So such is the case. Anyway, they take and the guy went in. She lived after her husband died. Okay, she lived in, they call it the flat apartment. Okay, up to the age of 110, and a pipe broke, and she was trying to melt the pipe, and it caught on fire, the wall or something, wallpaper, and somebody came in, but after that she moved to a nursing home. So anyway, they went down, these two fellas doing this here, Robin and Auld, okay, returned to her fall, and they went to see her. Okay, it's a case study. They drove into the village, okay, and they went to this medical director, okay, explained he wanted to interview Calmeet, and he was told, "It's too late. She's completely deaf." But he agreed to let him meet meet her anyway, okay? And the grand dame anyway. So he walked down along a concrete corridor into a small and spare room. "Hello, Madame Calmet," Lebir said. "Good morning, Doctor," she answered without hesitation. And he was shocked, okay? And he went back down to the medical director and said, "You told me, nurser, that she's completely deaf." And he said, "Well, yes, apparently she can hear quite well at times. She experiences periods of near deafness." I worked with somebody, Eileen Woodnall's Cove, and I said, "I think you need a hearing aid, Eileen." And she said to me, "John, I hear all I want to hear." Anyway, so this lady had some wit. Reminds me of Eileen Woodnall's Cove. He said she experienced periods of near deafness. Okay, I got to go on here. Got a lot of grounds to cover here. Okay, they take and after 1997, when the lady died, the closest any human being documented with verifiable birth certificates come to living 122 was an American lady by the name of Sarah. Looks like Kansas. K-N-A-U-E-S. Looks like Kansas. Okay. She died at 119, 2 years after the French lady. And there's a lady in Japan. She was 118. And very few people make it past 115. That said, I was coming to the Wake House here in Tracadie. And we'd hosted honored to host Fred's 90th birthday party. And I picked out a piece from the Globe and Mail about a week before, my comments, and it's people that make 80 years old, I think it's something like 65, of people that make 80 years old, something like 65% of them live into their 90s. I'm going to repeat that for the third time. People that make it to 80 years old, something like 65% of them live in their 90s. And Donnie Benoit, I was going to Wake House, he was coming up, and I told him a story because he was 78th birthday just had, so he had 2 more years, and he smiled at me, John. Well, he says, the next 2 years will be the hard years. But anyway, he has celebrated his 80th birthday in his fine form. His attitude, he's experienced some health issues, but his attitude is so good, I'm quite confident Donnie will live to 90 plus. He's just a very decent gentleman. Now you take, okay, I go on here. There's another study done here. They observed that people that enter old age, enter old age, the risk of dying plateaus. There's a plateau. That's what that last statistic shows. Those that turn 80 are about 2/3 that make it into their 90s. Okay, so there's a plateau. And there's something to that. Despite all the talk about the medical system in Nova Scotia, ambulance and blah, 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 and sick people, we have an awful lot of healthy people. Healthy old people. Undertaker, one time I had a phone up, I don't know what, I was getting a mail address or something some years ago, and he said, it's not the old people we're getting. Those suicides, cancer, heart attacks, accidents, other stuff. It's not the old people we're getting. And this particular funeral home is a pretty busy place. Okay, not the old people we're getting. So we do have a lot of healthy old people. And that brings me around France. There's just last fall, I did one, and there's a nun in France. She was 117 years old. So I think God forgot about me. 117 years old. So there's something at the French level. Down in Yarmouth, that's the southern end of Nova Scotia, Yarmouth Town, Yarmouth County. That French area, you got Boudreaux's and Entremonts and Surrettes, Legers, all those French names. Yarmouth County has an awful lot of people of old in Yarmouth County, okay? I'm from Tracadie. People in Tracadie known for talking loud, having big appetites, and many living old. So that's a fact. Talk loud, big appetites, vigorous, and live old. That is a fact. Now, they take Cape Breton Island. There's a lady in Arishat Almadam, again, a French lady, and she was Nanny Mae MacDonald. Gail, the wonderful baker, is a grandmother, and Nanny Mae MacDonald, that was her married name. They take her son's way in his 80s. They take son or grandson. Must be son, because anyway, Nanny Mae MacDonald, Javelin's Island, Richmond County. Her maiden name was French. I believe it was George. And George is a French name. She was 108. There's a wonderful lady, a McCackran lady, over in Troy, Craignish, Cape Breton Island. And actually, I was at her wake. A huge family. And I mean, in-laws, outlaws, sons-in-laws, daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, grandkids, great-grandkids, great-great-great-grandkids. And they take and Chrissy McCackran. Chrissy McCackran was, 104, 105. And there's a Floyd McDonald's mother, also in Craignish, Craigmore. She lived, I think, to 107. Okay, so that's three right within 30 miles where I operated from for years. Two of them just across the water. So there's something about Cape Bretoners. And it goes back, they're fun-loving, not jealous, healthy eaters. And Undertaker said, the priest at, in this case not Undertaker, the priest at a funeral, a wonderful lady in Cape Breton, West Bay Road, said, we should never associate a happy life but an easy life. Many of these people did not have easy lives, okay? But so it's not always an easy life. When priest, Father Duncan McIsaac said at the wonderful lady at West Bay Road a few years ago's funeral, we should never associate a happy life with an easy life. So that people thrive on challenge. Okay, let me go on with this here. They take and, so the debt rates plateau. The debt rates plateau. Now, another important point here. Someone who lives to 105 has a 50% chance of living to 106, just like the wonderful lady I gave the shout out to this morning. She's 100 years old. Last year on September 5th, this year, in another 3 more days, she'll be 101. And you know, I've noticed that. In the Halifax Herald about a month ago, in late July or early August, on the Saturday, there was an obituary for somebody in Nova Scotia. I can't remember exactly where. It's only about 5 weeks ago now. A little over a month ago. Was 106 years old and it had died, unfortunately. On Monday, all the milestones, significant anniversaries and birthdays are in the Monday's Halifax Herald, the provincial daily here in Nova Scotia. And it was a lady that was 106. So on a Saturday, there was a 106-year-old who had died, but ripe old age. And on Monday, there was a lady 106 years old looking for the 107th birthday. And in this here, it points out again, someone who lives to 105 has a 50% chance of living to the next year. The same is true of somebody at 106, 107, 108, 109. And a wonderful lady in Sydney, Abby McCann, and she died just shy of her 106th birthday, was it? Remarkable lady. 105th to 106th birthday. Remarkable. And again, great Cape Bretoner. So that I've given you my monologue here. I've given you 4 actual people in Cape Breton that all lived well over 100 years old. So when I say Cape Bretoners are wonderful people, I'm not kidding. With this, I've gone on longer than I expected. It's about the 13-minute mark, but it's a very special. Share it. It goes, it's added to, genes is part of it, but genes is only part of it. Okay? It's healthy eating and attitude. If I'd say one thing, if you look at all this, if you look at other reports too, it's attitude. Nothing fizzles them. Okay? Aunt Hattie buried her husband when she was 60. He was 64. She would have been what? He was 17 when they got married. She was 16. So she would have been 63 and she buried her husband of 48 years at the time. Okay, he was almost 65, I guess, Uncle Peter. She buried 3 of her 4 sons. Well, you bury a child, you never get over it. Well, she buried 3 of her 4 sons, and she buried 3 daughter-in-laws. Okay, she only had 4 sons, no daughters. But she always, there was grandkids and great-grandkids, and she lived, I think, to see her great-great-grandkids. She died 20 months shy of her 100th birthday. And so it was attitude. And who was I speaking to today that nothing fizzed her? Okay, somebody else today. Nothing, who was it just recently? Somebody around here said, nothing fizzed her. Well, Aunt Hattie was like this. Added, if I'd have genes important, diet, yes, important, but attitude. They say what did Jim Gray say in a book one time? Attitude is more important than facts. With that, I got to go, and I wish and number since I missed one important point here. I want to make it one more point, folks. There's one more. I knew I was missing one point here. Just bear with me a bit more. Okay. The number of centurions. Here it is. As medical and social advances mitigate diseases and old age and prolong life, the number of exceptionally long-lived people is increasing sharply. The United Nations estimates there are about 95,000 centurions. It means people 100 years or more in 1990. By 2015, there will be 450,000, and by 2100, there will be 25 million. I'm going to repeat that. United Nations report estimated that in 1990, there were 95,000 centurions in the world. Estimate, the best you can do. 450,000 by 2015, which is only 25 years later, where we've passed that now by 6 years. And by year 2100, there will be 25 million. And you know, in the Nova Scotia Halifax Herald, I check off obituaries for Inverness, Richmond, Guys, Bernanicanish counties, and yet just scanned through the rest. And it's increasingly common to see people live 102 during the coronavirus. There was a Mrs. McKean died in Glasgow, and she was 107 years old. I said, "You heard about Mrs. McKean?" "No." "What? She died." "Know what killed her?" "Coronavirus?" I said, "No, not coronavirus." She was from Trenton. I say New Glasgow. Trenton, Pictou County, Nova Scotia, near New Glasgow. 107 years old. Died of old age. Oh. And it was a Mrs. Weber, Mrs. Florence Weber down at Clam Harbour, Halifax County, Eastern Shore. She was 113 years old. She died about a year and a half ago now. Going on 2 years almost now. She was the third oldest known citizen of Canada. I said, "Guess what killed her?" "Coronavirus?" I said, "No, come on. Old age." And that's a fact. Those obituaries appeared, I think, in February. Mrs. McKean, Mrs. Jean McKean in February 2020, and Mrs. Florence Weber was in March or early April of 2020. They died within less than 2 months of one another. One of 107, old age, a wonderful lady from, didn't know her personally, but she had to be a wonderful lady, lived at 107, Trenton, Pictou County, near New Glasgow, and Mrs. Florence Weber of Clam Harbour, Eastern Shore. She was Udatois, the third oldest documented resident of Canada. When the last year and a half or two she was alive, there was only 2 more that had a birth certificate verifiable that would prove the age. It's remarkable. With that, I gotta go. All the best. God bless. God bless all our folks that live such a ripe old age, and we can all learn that famous expression, attitude's more important than facts. So next time, share the video around, promote a discussion, but share this one. This is kind of an interesting video. And I got to wrap it up. It's now 20, get it uploaded and everything, so you can see it at supper hour this evening. It's about 25 past 2 in the afternoon, on the afternoon of Thursday, the 2nd day of December, 2021. Thank you very much. Press the subscribe button and share the video far and wide. All the best. God bless all of you. Thank you. And wish you all a ripe old age. Thank you.